Yo, what's up guys, Rui here and welcome back to the channel. It feels like it's been a while since I've done a review video, hence I'm pretty excited for it today because we will be checking out a relatively new accessory brand called Dreadnought. They were very kind enough to send me one of their latest product, the Black Hand X Messenger bag. So let's check it out, and spoilers alert, I am actually pretty impressed by it. But before we continue to further into today's video, it'd be very much appreciated if you go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below if you are new to the channel or just haven't been subscribed yet, as it really does help the channel out a long way. Also, if you guys are feeling generous and want to help support the channel in a much bigger way, I do have a Patreon page whereby at its lowest tier, it is only $1 a month. And all of it will go into helping me to pick up new filming equipment so that I can continue to improve the quality of the videos for y'all, as well as helping to keep the lights on this channel. Being in the functional space for quite a bit now, I can safely say that messenger bags play a huge part in this genre's aesthetic. Whether it be for a summer-oriented outfit or for the winter season, one could argue and say that it's a key accessory that not only is very functional, but also adds a lot of visual and utilitarian element into an outfit. Therefore, for many people getting into this style, a messenger bag would be one of the very first few starting pieces that most would consider getting to complete the look. And I think what Dreadnought is offering here could be a very compelling option for those just getting into functional wear or wanting something that is more on the affordable side of the spectrum. I want to believe that they are a relatively new brand that's operating out in China, and to be really honest, I was actually pretty skeptical when they first reached out to me, as I thought it would just be another run-of-the-mill kind of accessory brand. However, upon checking out kind of their product showcase, it made me pretty intrigued because there were some pretty clever and unique design implementations. For my first impressions, I like how they aren't trying to overly design the bag and stick to a much more toned down urban utilitarian look. This is something I truly appreciate, especially when a lot of designs out there at this price point can be a little too tacky for me. Utilizing fairly simple angular patterns and clean hardware choices, I think they still managed to come up with a pretty good looking bag. Overall, I would categorize this as a light to medium carry system, and although it is a fairly compact messenger bag, it makes up by having tons of compartments and pockets to help keep all your EDC items nicely organized, and it is large enough to fit even my 11-inch iPad Pro very comfortably. For those wanting to use it as a laptop bag, it does fit my G14 very snugly, hence anything larger would not fit. In terms of build quality, everything felt very sturdy, although with my unit here, the outer compartment does seem to be a little off-center, which was something I didn't take notice until much later. The majority of the body is constructed using X-Pack fabric, while the lid and the inner pouch uses the fall version, giving it a nice contrasting visual. According to the site, instead of putting design on the forefront, the Black Hand X aimed to prioritize usability and functionality first and foremost, and we get to see this idea throughout their design implementation. For example, they decided to go for a single buckle design instead of dual buckles, allowing for easier one-handed use. I think this is a really thoughtful choice because since this is going to be an everyday type of carry system, you kind of want something that operates very seamlessly, and I think with such a form factor as well, a dual buckle system is a little overkill. One other unique feature of the messenger bag is this outside compartment. Besides having two additional pockets, it also has this large open space in between it and the body of the bag. It's actually designed this way so that you could fit a jacket or any sort of garment inside. This is such a great design in my opinion. Not only is the garment easily accessible, but it also further eliminates the intermediate interface between having to open the messenger bag and taking the garment out. Furthermore, I think it also makes so much sense in terms of a storage solution for your garments, because let's say you do have a dirty shirt or a towel and you want to be carrying it along with you. You don't really want to have it kept alongside the rest of your items. This will ensure that the garment will still have a proper place to be kept while being separated from the rest of your items. Something else that I really like is this integrated pull-out pouch. It has a total of 2 compartments, and it's going to be very useful to store things that you would want to access frequently, like your car keys or earphones. Flipping it behind, there is a top zipper giving you access to inside the bag without having to open its lid. I found it to be very convenient when you want to quickly grab something on the move. There's also a vertical pocket on each side, and although the right side is expandable, both pockets aren't particularly wide enough to fit something like a water bottle unless it is pretty slim. I found it useful to be putting something like my power bank here, as it allows me to continue using my phone even when it's plugged in. Moving on towards the strap, it is removable and technically you can swap it out for a different one, but I really love the one they provided. It's a very simple looking quick release strap, but it adds one simple detail that I feel is such a genius design. For the longest time now, the acronym 385 has been my main go-to carry system, and if you were to talk about straps, the acronym's quick lock quick release is hands down one of the most iconic strap systems out there. Overall, there is really nothing wrong with the 385 strap. It's very robust and built like an absolute tank. The quick lock quick release mechanism works great, allowing you to unfasten the strap within split seconds. However, because the motion of fastening is upwards, you need to hold the bag itself while tightening the strap, since you need 2 points of contact for the mechanism to work smoothly. Otherwise, the bag will be in a free-floating motion, making it almost impossible to tighten the strap. Now, the Black Hand Axe does borrow a very similar design, but they did add one small detail. By adding this tab here, it changes the secondary contact point towards your thumb, and with this small little addition, makes the motion of fastening the strap so much more seamless, and it works great even when the bag is fully loaded out. For some people, they might not even notice, but to me, this is one of those things whereby it actually helps to improve the interaction between the user and the garment. Therefore, I truly have to commend them for such a design implementation. While the entire strap isn't anything impressive visually, I do think it kind of demonstrates their whole idea philosophy of prioritizing functionality over design really well. And I think this also kind of proves to other brands that you do not need to overly engineer or complicate a design just for it to be considered as functional. A lot of times it's really just for the visual factor. And now, there's nothing wrong in liking the more maximalist type of design, but I also do feel like it's really important to understand that kind of having more hardware, intricate designs and components doesn't necessarily make something more functional as well. That being said, usually there is something like a hook that allows you to tidy the excess strap up, but I don't know if it's just my unit that came with a missing part, but once fastened, you kind of have this long strap just dangling around. If you don't mind the look of it, then it's really not that big of an issue, but for me, I at least would like to have the option to be able to tuck and tidy up the strap. Now, if it's true that it's just meant to dangle like this, then I have a really quick and easy solution that requires super little effort. By attaching something like this quick slip webbing keeper, it provides a hook that you can use to tidy up the excess strap. Not only does it cost only a couple of cents, but because the strap uses a standardized nylon webbing, it fits like an absolute charm. There is no need for any further modification and can be installed onto any of the bags that have already been produced with ease. Therefore, I highly would advise them to consider this tiny addition. Finally, for most people, the stock configuration is more than enough. However, for those who were observant, there's actually more options for customization. Beneath the lid, there is a strip of dual moly webbing which allows you to attach small compatible pouches for additional storage. Although it is in a rather peculiar location, I tested it out and it works out better than I expected. The placement allows the pouch to be in a higher position, making it much more convenient to reach it. And speaking about customization, one extra item that they did send over is a new add-on accessory for the bag called the clipboard. The entire board is pretty plush and is wrapped with a very soft velour fabric, and there's also a small pocket in the middle. It's a pretty situational add-on, but nevertheless can be a very useful one depending on your need, as it allows you to kind of split the inside of the bag into 3 different segments. This is a great add-on if you like more organization of your items, and I found this to be particularly useful if I'm carrying around my camera equipment, as it helps me to prevent a bunch of equipment from just freely moving around, which may cause damage or scratches. And this wraps up my review on the Black Hand Axe by Dreadnought. While there are certainly some imperfections and flaws, I am still really surprised as to how impressed I am with the brand. When it comes to more affordable pieces, certain sacrifices have to be made in order to save costs, and I have to give them credit for kind of prioritizing the right things. Paired this up with the fact that they tried to bring something new to the table, I do feel like this is a brand that has a lot of promise. If you are just an average consumer who is on the lookout for a new carry system and doesn't necessarily have the luxury of constantly picking up new things, choosing the right one is really important in my opinion, as it will be something that will be part of your wardrobe for a very long time. and I feel like this is a really great choice that you could consider. And even if you're not looking to pick up anything new, I still highly urge you guys to just go ahead and follow them over on Instagram. I feel like it's really important to show support to smaller brands like them in hopes that it encourages them to continue putting out the good work. As always, if you guys are interested, all their links can be found down below in the description box. And if you have found this video useful, then please do consider to give it a thumbs up. And once again, if you guys are new to the channel or just haven't been subscribed yet, please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, as it's these little things that really does help to push the channel out to more people. That's all I have for today's video. Please do stay safe out there, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out.